Well, Barack Obama, former president, gave a commencement address that was broadcast online for graduates to watch. And in part of it, he took some not so veiled shots at the current administration. Here's Barack Obama, remember, commencement address yesterday.
More than anything, this pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge. You're going to have to grow up faster than some generations. This pandemic has shaken up the status quo and laid bare a lot of our country's deep-seated problems. It's also pulled the curtain back on another hard truth. All those adults that you used to think were in charge and knew what they were doing, turns out they don't have all the answers. A lot of them aren't even asking the right questions.
So I don't know, Jed, is he talking about those Democrat governors that are crushing their states with these draconian measures, one size fits all, or is he taking a swipe at President Trump?
You know, the more I listen to it, the weirder it gets, truly, to listen. This is a commencement speech. So when you first listen to it, you almost forget that it's a commencement speech. You say, oh, this is President Obama, giving some sort of political speech, trying to say that the Trump administration is divisive and whatnot. But when you think about it, it's a commencement speech. It's supposed to be motivational, positive. It's supposed to be about the graduates. This was not the time for what he's doing. This was not the time to say, oh, this leadership isn't doing a great job, or, adults don't always know what they're doing. It just seems so depressing, to be perfectly honest, and just so completely inappropriate for what a commencement speech is supposed to be, that the more you listen to it, the weirder it gets.
Well, sure. It's certainly a missed opportunity, Jed, because here is the guy known as No Drama Obama. He always tried to remain above the fray.
Oh, yes.
We haven't heard much from him in the entire time. And look, President Trump has taken lots of shots at President Obama. We hear Obamagate all this past week. So this was the opportunity for Barack Obama to step into the void, get that soaring rhetoric that we remember, and inspire these young graduates like my niece Marilyn, who graduated from Villanova this weekend, and say, listen, you guys were the strongest. You got us through this pandemic. You taught us how to go online and communicate. You taught us how to Zoom. Build upon it. Be a leader. Give me the high bar. But instead, President Obama said, thanks for the mic. Let me take a crack at Trump. Yeah. That's unbelievable, to fault a lack of leadership in a time of pandemic when the very people we will depend in the future on are being assailed with political gotcha.
And time again, he talks like a typical leftist, the people in charge. No, you know who's in charge? The people who elected supposedly public servants. Yet these Democrat governors and Barack Obama, they feel like, no, we're in charge, we're the experts, and Donald Trump's got it all wrong. It's amazing. And by the way, Barack Obama's not all that articulate. When he reads off a teleprompter, he can be inspiring, or off of a speech. But when he's impromptu, the ums and the ahs, it's impossible to listen to. Anyway, a guy who did respond to it last night, because this was yesterday, was Peter Navarro, White House Trade and Manufacturing Policy Director. He talked about the speech and had a good take. Watch.
8 years of Obama and Biden, kumbaya of incompetence. This was the guy on his watch that we saw over 50,000 factories disappear to China. Didn't mention that in his speech, right? And to the American workers, it was always, let them eat arugula. This was like you would have to wave a magic wand to get back manufacturing. Donald J. Trump got 500,000 manufacturing jobs back. So I'm a little surprised at the former president coming out like that. But again, as Biden's press secretary, he's going to do that.
Yeah, so we're covering that a lot. One of the other important stories that we're covering that I really want to get to, I know you two want to get to as well, and Americans at home want to hear about, is the reopening of this country.
So Fox News just continues to reflect poorly on our country and its political system. These three wanted to attack Obama's commencement speech and its political nature. So right off the bat, he brings up the draconian measures from Democratic governors, like the draconian measures that scientists are like, yeah, you need to keep people at home because more people are going to die if you all just go out again. There's going to be a second wave. Those draconian measures. Like, okay, so hypocrisy right away and a total attack out of left field, right? Like, what draconian measures from Democratic governors? What are you talking about? And then the female journalist chimes in, listening to it over and over again. It's like, oh, so you listened to it over and over again, did you? Like, when's the last time you did that with anything Donald Trump said? Or any Republican for that matter. And I get it. Like, I'm being harsh on Republicans and Donald Trump because a lot of politicians are hard to listen to over and over again. But let's be real. Like, the intelligence of the Democrats compared to the intelligence of the Republicans makes Democrats a lot easier to listen to over and over again. Let's see. What else did we have? What else do we have going on here? Oh, yeah. So they they bring up that this is not a time for politics. This was a commencement speech. Even though Barack Obama was just calling on the youth of America to step up and to question the leaders who are currently serving right now because they deserve like a lot of questioning, right? But no, this isn't the time for a message like that. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna air an attack on Barack Obama, a political attack. How he didn't bring up the manufacturing jobs that were shipped overseas during his administration. Like, what? Fox News? What reality are you guys in? Like, pick a lane. You're just all over the place. Like, oh no, don't be political. Okay, attack him on politics. Oh, he's so hard to listen to over and over again. It's like, what? You guys are crazy, man. And your listeners have to like suffer through, like, you're just, it's Barack Obama, it's terrible. And then to cap it off, the dick on the right, this is typical leftist stuff. It's like, oh, man, if you want to be labeled ignorant, then you talk like that, right? Leftist, right? You socialist. Like, oh man, there's so many nuances behind the Democratic platform and why it's harder for Democrats to come together than Republicans, because Democrats are comprised of people ranging from all different backgrounds and views and perspectives, while Republicans are scared white people, right? So, it's a lot easier to rule with fear than it is to rule with bringing and unifying people from a variety of backgrounds. So that's why talking like that, just leftist, right? Which is like Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingram's, Sean Hannity's, like the entire Fox News team's like favorite thing to do. I'm your typical leftist, right? Old white people, right? See, Barack Obama's a leftist black man, and I'm not. I'm a white guy just like you. Like, it's just embarrassing. It reflects poorly on Fox News, their viewers, and us as a country. I personally thought Barack Obama's commencement speech was pretty good. Pretty good. Like, talking to a bunch of 18-year-old kids and 22-year-old kids, young people who are graduating, like, you're really just out there to try to get them to, to just give them some words of hope and inspiration, and calling on them to question authority, which is something that 18 to 22-year-olds like love to do, right? It's like, that's kind of a great message to send. And the fact that, like, hey, you have to do it in the middle of a pandemic and you're kind of forced to grow up really quickly when you have a failed casino owner and a guy who's been alleged by dozens of women to have molested, raped, paid them off, a guy who cheated to steal the election is the one who's cost us 100,000 lives, right? Like, yeah, you got to grow up kind of quick. Like, this is kind of important time, right? Like, you are forced into the adult conversation, and there's a clown who is pretending to be its leader. So yeah, like, it's on you guys to kind of step up into that adulthood really quickly. And I thought Barack Obama did an okay job doing that. You know, wasn't anything like spectacular. It was just, he's like, Barack Obama was just being chill. Like, he didn't call Donald Trump out by name. He didn't like challenge him to a fight. Like Joe Biden, I think, is gonna do during these Democratic debates, or during their presidential debates. If they get on the same stage, like, I think Joe Biden's gonna be like, Donald Trump, put him up right now. I wanna knock you out. Barack Obama's not like that. So I thought he did an okay job. But this criticism of him is just, it's ridiculous. It doesn't. There's no reality that exists in, except for these scared old white people who have been trained by that network to fear the brown man. So that's my take on it. Interested to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Thanks for watching.